and welcome to our herbs and spice garden. That's where you're gonna see herbs and the medicinal uses and spices. Now this project was first started in 93, officially opened in 95. As we go along, you can see the trails are covered with nutmeg shells. Okay, my name is Lorraine and I'll be your guide. Now to begin with, we have cocoa for chocolate. That's it hanging on the tree over here. Cocoa is Grenada's second largest industry. Now, for interestingly, cocoa would grow as low as the trunk of the tree. Now in Grenada, we have these two types of cocoa, an orange cocoa and a yellow one. To harvest the cocoa, we use two methods. You can use your hands or a cocoa knife. Now when we get the cocoa, we're going to crack open the pods and inside you see the beans packed like this. We're going to send those beans to the cocoa station. There, they're going to ferment them for 7 days, and by fermenting, they're covering down to sweat. After sweating, we're going to put them out to dry in the sun, constantly turning. Then we're going to roast the beans and we're going to ship them abroad. There, they're going to use them to make tea and beverages, suntan, oils, lotions, cocoa butter, and chocolate. Cocoa is said to believe that it has a trace of the drug found in coffee. Grenada produces 1% of the world's production. You can suck on those cocoa beans, but don't buy them. It's bitter if you buy them. Let me try it. So them out, just drop them down there in the bucket. Don't buy them, don't swallow them. Just suck it and spit it out.
Suck it and see.
Thank you.
Odd. Doesn't taste a bit like chocolate, does it? Not chocolate.
It's alright.
It don't taste like how it feels.
No, nice though. It's good.
Oh.
Like it.
Pepper neither the tree don't get bigger than this. They are small and rather hot. Now you can use them to make pepper sauce. But the leaves can be used, for instance, if you have an abscess or a boil, you can heat it with some soft candle and you're going to place it on it. Peppers can also be used in instances where you have a problem with your digestive system. You can bite on the peppers. In that tree behind you, is the pods? Tamarind. It's a fruit. When it's mature, the shells are brown and crispy. Then you're going to suck it, although it's a little bit sour. Use it to make candy, juices, and in Indian cooking like a paste. Garden balsam, that's this one here. Then you're going to make a tea with the fine leaves and you would give it to babies for colic. Dandelions. Our dandelions have white flower, yours have yellow. You're going to make a tea with it, it would cleanse the urine. You can use it for kidney stone. Use the young leaves in salads. Make dandelion wine and high blood pressure. This one is English plantain. English plantain is used for your eyes. For instance, if you have red eyes, dry eyes, or a dust went into your eyes, you would pick that leaf, boil it in water, and wash your eyes with the water. You can also roll the leaves and you're going to squeeze the juice from it into your eyes. The stalk of the center can also be used. For instance, if you're outside, you got stung by a bee or a wasp, you can chew on it, roll it up and rub it on it. It will stop it from swelling. Oh. So you use it as a seasoning. You can also use it in sauces like tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, pasta. It's a time. It's called Panadol time, like paracetamol. Panadol time is used as a seasoning, also as a tea for headache. It's just as bitter as the actual Panadol. So if you can't swallow pills, you can use it as a substitute. You can also use it as a tea to treat gum disease.
What's the name?
Panadol time.
Well, pain reliever. Yeah, but it should be.
That's just God's eye pepper.
No, the other one, the first one. I'm seeing. Thank you.
It's a time again. Yeah. This one is called Big Time. Now that's a big time. Big time is used as a seasoning, also as a tea for chest cold, especially in babies. It will help them to bring up the mucus.
That's a spider.
Where did this spider
That's a
go?
spider?
I know, I got part of his web.
I'm getting close.
It's called Guyana time. The Guyana time is used as a seasoning for seafood, in your chicken, in your stuffing, and also as a tea if you have a cough. Okay, we go over the bridge now. This one here, that's a noni, N-O-N-I noni. I like to call it the stinky fruit. It smells like how it looks. Horrible. Now, noni is good for pain, like muscular and joint pain. You can tie the leaf on like a poultice. The fruits, you can use it like an antiseptic. First, it must be ripe and rotten. Now, when it's ripe, it smells like moldy cheese. Okay? Now, this is a nutmeg tree here. Those in the back here are nutmeg as well. But this one here in particular was planted by Prince Edward and his wife Sophie. It was part of the Queen's 60th Jubilee. They were visiting all the Commonwealth and they came. That was on the 27th of February 2012. The one nutmeg is ripe, it's yellow, and it was split open so you can see the red part of it, which is the mist. Nutmeg was first brought to Grenada in 1834. The pods, that's the yellow outer layers. You're going to use it to make jams and jellies. Nutmeg is used in pharmacy, in Vicks vapor rub for the treatment of cold, also in rum punch. The mace, that's a red pot. You're going to use it as a seasoning for seafood, porridges, cosmetics, as a preservative. Nutmeg and mace is very strong. So when you're using it, you use it in small amounts. Every part of the nutmeg is used. So the yellow, that's the pods for the jams and the jelly. The red, that's the maize for the seafood. The black is that shell you're walking on. Inside that shell is the actual nut that you're going to cook with. Now, don't use too much of that nutmeg because it will make you hallucinate. Now, that's the black peppers. The peppers in my hand and the stem. They're grown on these vines over here. The vine must be in the shade to grow. Now, black pepper is used as a seasoning. You can use it to flavor soup. You get all the peppers from one vine, you pick them at different stages. So if you want them green peppers, you can use them like this. If you want them black pepper, as they start getting yellow, you would pick them and dry them in the sun. If you want them red, you leave them to be completely ripened on the tree. Just one pepper, you're picking them at different stages. This one is leaf of life. Leaf of life is used for your hair. For instance, if you have an erect or water went into your hair from diving, you're going to pick that leaf and you're going to heat it over open flame. Now when it's warmed up, you squeeze the moisture in a piece of cotton. You're going to put that cotton into your hair. It will remove the wax buildup. Ven, this one here. Ven is used for cooling, but in breastfeeding mom. You make a tea with it, it would enhance the flow of the breast milk. This one is wild onions. The big bulbs are in the ground. Now you can't use them for cooking, but for medicinal uses. For instance, if you have asthma, you're going to boil that bulb and drink it. It's going to make you vomit. Now you bring up the mucus. But if you don't have the wild onions, you can use the regular onions you cook with. You cut it in sugar. When it makes this syrup, you drink it, it has the same effect. That's a turmeric or Grenadian saffron. It makes a plant like a lily. So you're going to use the roots as a substitute for curry and as a poultice. For instance, if you have a bruise or a sprain, you can grate it, put it in a piece of cloth with some salt, and you're going to tighten it. You can also dissolve a teaspoon in warm water with some honey. It would help with inflammation of the joints. As a turmeric. This is a ginger. It makes a plant like a bamboo. So you're going to use the roots as a tea for gas and chills. You make an ale with a ginger ale. Use it in breads and biscuits. Drink it for seasickness, morning sickness. It would settle your stomach. Any form of motion sickness you have, ginger. You can also use it for chest cold, especially in babies. To do that, you pick that leaf, you put it in a bottle with some coconut oil and some camphor, and you're going to rub the chest. It's like a big vapor rub. Rosemary can also be used as a tea for hot flashes in menopause, depression, and memory loss. It smells like a mint, but it's not mint, it's called Santa Maria. Now you make a tea with it for cold. You can boil it together with milk as a form of relaxation. It would calm you down like chamomile tea. In front here now we have descoperim. Descoperim is like a ground cover. It would make a yellow flower. So you can use the leaf as a tea, like if you're a parasite in your tummy, like tapeworms or hookworms. Wild coffee. It's a pod with several seeds in it. The dry seed, you're going to roast it and sip it in water. You're going to use it as a beverage for the stoppage of water. Like prostate glands in men, it's a help. If you don't have the wild coffee, you can use the dry pumpkin seeds. Now they both don't cure the prostate, but they help you with the pain. Smells like coriander, but it's not coriander. It's called shadow benny. Shadow benny is used as a seasoning for fish. It cuts the freshness. As a tea for fever. It's also an anti-convulsion for epilepsy. Something bite you?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Stop
you
it
very
from
much.
itching you.
Thank you.
Now that's the aloe. Use the aloe and cuts, burns, bruises, insect repellent, cleanser, tonic, shampoo, conditioner. Use it both internally, externally. You can bathe with it. Drink it with coconut water. It will help the digestive system. But you have to be careful when you're using the aloe. Aloe tends to heal very quickly. So we're only going to put it on a small cut or a small burn. Now if we put it on the big ones, it will heal the outside of it. Inside will still be an open wound. It's like it's sealing it off. Avocado, the flowers are there. You get the fruits from July. Now the leaves can be used as a tea for hypertension. Now, as you come across, you're going to see the jackfruit over here. So jackfruit is the biggest fruit in the world. It's an Asian fruit. Normally they are big tall trees, but since we get ours from the Chinese, you know they like to graft everything, so ours remain short. So you know it's ripe when it gives off a sweet smell, unlike the durian which stinks. Or if you knock it, you're going to hear a hollow sound, so you know the jackfruit is ripe. So you're going to take a sharp object and you cut it off from the branches. Then you have to make sure that your both hands are completely covered in oil because it's rather sticky. Then you're going to slit it open in half, and inside you're going to see the yellow pulps within the skin. That's what you're going to use. Now the vegans going to use them for protein. They're going to saute them and eat them as meat. They put them in their burgers, they put them in their barbecue. You can eat it as a fruit, but if you're diabetic, don't use too much because it's rather sweet. You can put it in your smoothie. You can also roast the nuts and eat them. Okay, that's the jackfruit. And over here we have ginger lily and thorium lilies in front. This one is birds of paradise. The one with the purple flowers is sky roses. The one to the end is dragon blood. And these are all decorative plants just for looking pretty. That's the sky roses. Or purple bed. Vanilla vine. The vine is an FME. It's on a focus. Once you can put it as anything you want to grow. Now since it needs a bee to pollinate it, but the pollen don't produce enough nectar to attract the bee, you're going to use a stick or a toothpick to pollinate it. To do that, you take that stick and you raise up the petal and you press down the pollen. Once a year it would make that pollen, sometimes April or May. That's why it's so expensive. Once it's pollinated, it takes about 6 to 9 months to mature. You pollinate it early in the morning before the pollen drops off. You know the vanilla pods are ready to harvest, so the tip of them start to yellow. Nutmeg, you're going to see the body, you all wrong. It's not that. It's allspice. I thought you were going to watch it on the side.
Allspice was literally all spices.
No, it's one spice. It's some berries grown in clusters. No, allspice, those are the trees. Allspice is grown on a small scaling. No, this will make your tongue numb, like when you go to the dentist. You're right. Allspice is grown on a small scale in Grenada compared to Jamaica. Jamaica produces 90% of the world's production. We have the other 10. The leaves, you get an oil in it called Eugene oil. You're going to use it in aftershave oils and cologne. You can put it in barbecue stand along with the coals. It gives off a nice fume. The berries that are grown in clusters. So you're going to use it as a seasoning, but whole and ground up. In pickle sauce, stews, gravies, rice, even cakes. You can also make a wine with the ripe berry. As you can see, the tree is strong. It sheds its own bark. So you can use the wood to make walking sticks and umbrella sticks. It belongs to the same family as guava. It has the same aroma as clove and mace. That's why we call it allspice. But it's a pimento. It's a little berry like a black pepper. You get 2 crops from the allspice, one in August and the other late October, early November. Okay? Now as you come across, you see those little trees in front? That's bay leaf. Bay leaf will be a big tree like a cinnamon tree. So you're going to use the leaves in condiments, stews, gravy, sauce, tea. You can put it in rum and you're going to use it to massage your joints. You can put the dry leaves in your cupboard, it will keep away moths. And you can put it in things like rice and flour, it will stop it from having weevil. This is Tania, T-A-N-I-A. It's a root crop like a sweet potato, a cassava, or a yam. So you can eat it as a vegetable, or you can grate it and make it into a porridge, what we local like to call a Tania log. Now it is said to believe, not proven, that it has the properties of the aphrodisiac. That's plantains up there. When it's ripe, the difference between the plantain and the banana, it must be cooked to be eaten. So when it's ripe, you can steam it or you can fry it. When it's green, you can put it in your soup and you can make it into a plantain chip.
She didn't use those before.
Cinnamon. So this one that fell over, this one in the center yet, this one over here. These trees are cinnamon trees. Cinnamon is the bark of the tree. To get that cinnamon, you must cut down the whole tree. A new one would grow back from the trunk, you don't have to replant it. Like a banana, it sends up a next sucker, so you wait 4, maybe 5 years again to cut them. To get the actual cinnamon, now you're going to take a knife and scrape off the green layer, like how we did this. So you're going to see the brown part, that's the cinnamon. So after scraping off the skin, you're going to take the knife and mark the cinnamon. You're going to peel it off from the wood. You're going to put it to dry, it will curl up in the sun, that's how you get cinnamon sticks. Cinnamon can be used both whole and ground up in cinnamon rolls, cakes, ice cream porridges, as a tea for gas, chills, diabetes. Cinnamon also helps with weight loss and cholesterol too. Center of the plant. You get 1 pineapple per plant. Pineapple take about 11 months for it to mature and bear that fruit. It's fine. Coffee beans. You're going to pick them when they're bright red and we're going to ferment them. You put them in water to sweat. Now when the skin goes soft, we're going to remove the skin. You're going to wash the slime from the beans. Then we're going to dry the beans, roast them, and grind them up. Now the coffee makes a white flower, and that flower smells like a jasmine.
You say cloves?
It is close.
Yeah, they look like it to me.
Oh, that's the first stage.
First stage, yeah. It looked like it's hiding under the
So
green.
take up some more. Step up. Okay, as you come up, you're going to see the clove sticking out out through the branches, the green stuff sticking out in the branches, that's a clove. Cloves are going similar to allspice in clusters. You're going to pick them when they're bright red. We're going to put them to dry. It would go dark brown. We then use them to flavor soup, season meat, rice, and in toothache. We start harvesting cloves in either February or April. Now, clove is the only fruit that you're going to see the fruit first, and then the flower comes out after. Okay? So when you get it, it's a little dried and shriveled up. That's it. You recognize it. So we have come to the end of our tour. Hope you have enjoyed it. Okay, inside your washroom and spices. We're going this way. You're welcome.